Let me tell you something fascinating about women who stay silent in a world that never stops talking. A world where every thought, every outfit, every meal is uploaded, filtered, and approved. Yet some women remain invisible. They scroll quietly, observe deeply, and rarely post a single thing. You might know one, or maybe you are one, and that makes people wonder why. Why would a woman choose to stay unseen when attention has become the new currency? It's easy to assume she's shy, insecure, or antisocial, but beneath that silence, there's a quiet strength hidden in stillness. For some women, silence isn't emptiness, it's control. It's the power to choose what the world doesn't get to know. Social media rewards exposure, it praises noise, it confuses visibility with value. But these women have seen through the illusion. They understand that mystery is magnetic and peace is more powerful than attention. They don't need to prove who they are. They already know. Every time she refuses to post, she's quietly rebelling against a culture obsessed with validation. While others shape themselves for likes and comments, she shapes herself in silence. She's not absent, she's authentic. Psychologists call this self-determination, the ability to stay true to your inner values even when the world pressures you to perform. Women like her often have higher emotional independence, stronger self-awareness, and a deep resistance to comparison. She doesn't crave attention, she craves alignment. Sometimes this silence doesn't come from peace, it comes from exhaustion. Many women once shared everything, their joy, their heartbreaks, their victories, until one day it stopped feeling real. They realized they were performing happiness instead of feeling it. That's when they stepped back. No announcement, no drama, just a quiet retreat from the noise. Because posting started to feel like pretending, and pretending felt like pain. Their silence became their recovery. There's also something called psychological ownership, the feeling that something belongs deeply to you. Your memories, your love, your inner world. But every time you post, that ownership fades a little. The moment becomes public property, open to judgment, to misunderstanding, to envy. So she protects her moments, not because she's cold, but because she's learned that not everything sacred needs an audience. Her silence isn't distance, it's intimacy with herself. Of course, not every quiet woman is peaceful. Some carry fear of judgment, rejection, or being misunderstood. Social media amplifies that fear. It's like standing on a stage where the audience never stops watching. And for women who feel deeply, that's exhausting. So they choose stillness over scrutiny. They retreat not from connection, but from the cost of being constantly perceived. They don't want to be seen by everyone. They want to be understood by someone. There's something magnetic about women who don't need to be seen to feel significant. Their energy speaks louder than any caption could. They live slowly, fully, intentionally, present in moments the rest of the world scrolls past. When others chase attention, they choose alignment. When others perform, they pause. Because confidence isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the calm assurance that your worth exists even when nobody's watching. For women, silence has always been misunderstood, seen as weakness or submission. But in truth, it's a deeper kind of strength. The strength to protect your peace in a world that profits from your exposure. The strength to choose privacy in a culture addicted to proof. And that choice, to stay unseen, unfiltered, and untouched by algorithms, is one of the purest acts of self-respect. The psychology of women who stay quiet online is layered. It's a mix of self-preservation, authenticity, and personal growth. Many of these women have realized that their value isn't defined by likes, comments, or followers. They have stepped out of the endless cycle of validation seeking and chosen a path of internal alignment. Each decision not to post is a reclaiming of power, a silent declaration: I am enough. I don't need external approval. Consider the subtle ways this choice manifests. A woman might attend a breathtaking sunset and feel its beauty internally without capturing it for the world. She might share a story with a close friend instead of posting it online, finding intimacy over exposure. She might experience a triumph or a heartbreak and allow it to shape her privately rather than turning it into digital content. This internalization fosters depth, emotional resilience, and a clarity of self that few public profiles ever capture. Silence also enhances perception. Women who don't post are often more observant, more empathetic, more attuned to nuance. When you're not broadcasting your life, you're paying attention to the lives around you. You notice details others miss, a subtle change in a friend, mood, a fleeting expression, the small acts of kindness that go unrecorded. These observations enrich their understanding of the world and their place in it. They experience life directly, not filtered through the lens of performance. Interestingly, studies have shown that women who take long breaks from social media or who refrain from posting entirely often experience measurable benefits in emotional well being. Their self esteem becomes less contingent on external validation. They feel more grounded, more centered, and more capable of experiencing joy without the need for amplification. Every unposted moment is a reinforcement of internal locus of control, the knowledge that happiness comes from within, not from notifications. But it's not only about control or self esteem. There's a philosophical dimension to this silence. Women who choose not to post have often reached a stage of life where they value authenticity above attention. They understand that the human experience, love, loss, growth, creativity, connection, is not meant to be constantly documented. Some experiences are sacred precisely because they are unshared. By keeping parts of life private, they preserve the depth and integrity of their personal narrative. Many of these women are also highly selective in their connections. They invest deeply in relationships that are real and meaningful rather than transactional. Because they're not performing for an audience, they can be fully present in moments that truly matter. Their conversations aren't interrupted by the compulsion to record or share. Their laughter isn't for likes or hearts. Their intimacy isn't staged. This ability to cultivate genuine relationships is one of the silent powers of women who abstain from posting. Sometimes this silence is a form of resistance. Resistance to the pressures of modern life that demand constant visibility, constant performance, and constant comparison. Women who opt out of posting have recognized that the world often confuses exposure with significance. They've chosen a different metric: internal fulfillment, self alignment, and personal growth. Their resistance is quiet but profound, and it reshapes the way they experience the world. Even in professional or social contexts, the psychology of non posting women manifests in subtle but powerful ways. They often prioritize real world achievements and experiences over digital recognition. They may excel in careers, creative pursuits, or personal endeavors without broadcasting them. Their satisfaction comes from mastery and personal fulfillment rather than external applause. In doing so, they model a form of self worth that isn't dependent on digital metrics, a rare quality in today's hypervisible society. Moreover, there's a spiritual dimension to their silence. By disengaging from the social media performance, they create space for self reflection, self understanding, and inner growth. They reconnect with intuition, with the rhythms of life that social media often disrupts. This isn't about rejecting technology or the world, it's about prioritizing presence, meaning, and depth. In essence, their quietness becomes a sanctuary, a place where the mind and soul can flourish unobserved. Women who don't post often develop resilience that is both emotional and psychological. They learn to handle envy, judgment, and misunderstanding without needing to justify themselves publicly. They cultivate patience, discernment, and inner strength. Each decision to remain unseen is a training ground for autonomy and self reliance. Over time, this quiet practice builds a strong, grounded, and independent identity that isn't swayed by trends, algorithms, or public opinion. And then there's the paradox. The more invisible they are online, the more presence they have offline. Their actions, words, and energy carry weight in real world interactions. Their influence isn't measured by reach, but by resonance. People notice the woman who embodies integrity, calm, and authenticity, even if she never posts about it. Her absence from social media amplifies her impact in real life because she's not competing for attention. She's commanding respect through presence. They develop a sense of internal luxury, a comfort in their own company that most people never achieve. They experience life fully without needing to showcase it. They allow their thoughts, feelings, and creativity to unfold naturally, privately, deeply, without interruption or performance. Every unshared moment becomes a meditation, every private triumph a source of empowerment. They embrace complexity and nuance in ways that aren't visible to the digital world but are profoundly transformative internally.